Hello, everybody. My name is Justin. My call sign is Kilo Oscar 4, Charlie Echo Quebec, and I'm making this video here today. It's going to be the first of several videos with the goal of educating people on practical use of FLDigi, the software suite, as it pertains to the American Contingency Ham Radio Network, or NET protocol. FLDigi is a fantastic piece of software, and well, the suite is used to communicate large amounts of data when voice transmission may be too unreliable. Um, because the computer is better than the human ear at listening deep into the signal or dig deep into the noise, a lot of times we can pull out and decode data where we wouldn't otherwise, through poor propagation or RFI or atmospheric noise. You can use FLDigi both on the AHF bands and UHF and VHF as long as you can figure out a way to connect your computer to your transceiver. A lot of new radios have a very simple plug and play where it's one USB right from your computer to the radio, and some older rigs you may need a signal link or other TNC or audio interface in order to get the two working together happily. We'll go ahead and start this first video with just the basic configuration of the software, and I'll make following videos later on demonstrating and explaining the graphic user interface, how to basic check-in procedure for an AHRN net, conducting an AHRN net as net control, and perhaps other videos that, as I think of them or get, meaningful suggestions. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. And I'm going to go ahead and assume that you've already downloaded and installed FLDigi, FLAMP, FLMessage, and possibly FLRig. If you haven't, I'll go ahead and put those links down in the description where you can find those. I am running this system running this program on Windows 10. I'm familiar with Windows, so there may be a few small differences with other operating systems. I am unfamiliar with that. I'm giving you what I know. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to go up to the top left-hand corner of the window. We're going to go ahead and click on Configure and go to Config Dialog. This will open up the screen for you. It should start off with the operator station. You'll go ahead and put in your operator call sign, station call sign, your name, station locator, your grid square, and your state and county that you're in. Anything that we do in here, you're going to go ahead and click save after entering or adjusting the data in each window. So we've got that squared away. We're going to go ahead and move right on down to the rig control and get right to it. Now, if you are using FLRig and have it installed and configured with your ham radio or your transceiver, all you're going to do is go ahead and click on that tab and enable FLRig transceiver control with FLDigi as client. You're going to go ahead and click enable and save. If you don't and you are going straight to the radio without any intermediate software, you'll go ahead and click hamlib. You can see I'm using the ICOM 7300. You will select your rig from the list of all the rigs and put in your appropriate device COM port and the appropriate settings to match your radio here. Again, you'll click use hamlib. Use hamlib. You'll make sure that's checked, and you'll go ahead and click initialize. And then at that point, you'll hear the software interface with the rig. We've got the cat control now squared away, and we're going to go ahead and head on down to sound card and make sure that our audio devices are squared away accordingly. So under the sound card tab, you're going to click on devices and make sure port audio is checked, and you're going to select your appropriate input and output. For me, I've got it as a USB audio codec. I have within my system renamed That speaker and microphone is just ICOM 7300, IC 7300 for easy reference. Again, go ahead and click Save after you're done. Next tab down, we're going to click on UI. We're going to click on Macro Buttons. This right here, this screen, is all personal preference. Feel free to come back to this while after you're squared away and you've learned the ins and outs of FLDigi, and it will make and just find out what is easiest for you or most comfortable to your operating style and possibly your screen setup. I like 2 Scheme 3, and as you can see, as you select the different buttons, it places these macro buttons in a different spot. We'll discuss more about macro buttons in another video. The next step we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and head back to the miscellaneous tab, and you're going to expand that menu tree. And we're going to go ahead and click auto start. Now for this, you're going to need the file addresses for FLAMP and FLMessage, and you can see I've got them in a drive F. I've got them both in drive F, and I've put them here. If you don't use this option, which will auto start these programs along with FLDigi, you will also need to start those programs after you start FLDigi. So once you double click on that FLDigi icon, FLDigi start running, you'll need to go ahead and open up the FLAMP and FLMessage applications. This makes it easy, so all you have to do is open up FLDigi and everything else will come along. Once you've located those file addresses, you're going to stick them in the appropriate spot and you're going to check enable. And if you want to test it, you can go ahead and hit test and it will boot up that application. Hitting the locate button will open up a file folder or a file explorer and allow you to go ahead and drill down to the appropriate folder in order to select that. So for that, I just buggered that up. So we're going to go ahead and locate it. Numbers F and I think it was the ham stuff. No, wasn't there. FLAMP is right there in front of my face this whole time. There we go. Open. And there you go. You got a good demonstration of that. So once again, we'll go ahead and hit save. Make sure these are enabled. Next, we're going to stay within that miscellaneous tree. And we're going to go ahead and head on down to Sweet Spot and make sure the Always Start New Modems at these frequencies is unchecked. That will keep your frequency that you're locked on from jumping around a bit if modes get changed. And we'll discuss that in a later video. So we're almost done here. So we're going to go ahead and save our changes so far and close this tab out. This right here is the channel browser. It's good for contesting, but not really necessary for what we need it for. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. You're just going to click on View/Hide Channels, and that'll get rid of that. Next, what you're going to do that I suggest doing is you're going to go ahead and view 48 macros. And this will populate all the macros down here. Now we will change the macro set in a later video, and you'll see where that benefits you. So that's it for this video. The next one should be on the graphic user interface, explaining everything that you're currently looking at. I know it can be a lot. It's really not all that crazy, but we'll go ahead and make a video for you guys and answer any questions that you guys might have. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Again, this is Justin. My call sign is KO4CEQ, and you guys have a great day. 73.